So I'm getting a lot of questions about what movestones to use with a Pokemon and what a good setup is and what the advantage of each movestone is and all of those kinds of things. And I thought I'd just make a quick video about it so that everyone can kind of get their head around what it is that I'm running and the reason why I'm running it and what sort of works with each different type of move as well. So you probably saw my team in my last video, and if you haven't, then I recommend you having a quick look because I give a few tips on the movesets. But in terms of the Pokemon that I'm running, these aren't going to be my legitimate endgame Pokemon. This is just something, a team that I've thrown together that do the job for now in Happenstance Island. But you can kind of, just by looking at the actual Pokemon themselves here, get an idea of what movestones seem to work. It does depend when you're tapping on each move. You'll notice where it says Psychic in pink there, that there are colours next to that. Now these are the different coloured type of movestones that you can attach to each move. Now before we go too much into detail about the stones, I just want to say that I completely and wholeheartedly recommend that you grab Pokemon and upgrade Pokemon only who have one move so that you can attach as many stones as possible, which is 3. But also, it means that when you're autoing all of your stages so that you can farm, it means that that Pokemon's AI will only use the move that you want it to use, and it'll always use the one that's affected by the 3 stones. So utilizing this is a really good option. So like I said, you have a look at your move and it's got the different color stones that you can use there, and that gives you an idea of how you can change that move. A lot of people love to utilize the Whack Whack stone, and I'm one of them. The Whack Whack stone will effectively use that move an extra time. So if that move will go twice, then the Whack Whack stone will add that extra one to that, and it'll make that move happen 3 times before the cooldown starts to take effect. But what it will also do is, the negative effect is that it gives a move wait time percentage of 50%. I don't find this to be too much of a detriment, and the reason why is because usually if you have a Pokemon that's strong enough to use a move once per round, I suppose you would say, within the stages, or phase within the stages, then generally running between phases, they will get most of their cooldown back anyway. So using 2 Whack Whack stones I think is probably the most you want to go for. There aren't many Pokemon that you really want to add 3 to. But with Alakazam, with Psychic, I like to use the Scattershot stone because it just gives 2 of the shots instead of 1, so it splits apart. It does lower the attack percentage by 15%, but he's got over 7,500 attack. I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. But what it effectively also does is, if you've got things like hit healing added to your stones, so I'll just show you here on one of these, there's hit healing percentage 1.8%, all that sort of thing. Then if you have 2 shots coming out, then you're going to be healing from 2 different sources. It'll also give you a higher ability to hit several Pokemon at the same time. Going back, I'll show you, this is the best attacking move in the game, and Hydro Pump's the move that everyone's talking about at the moment in terms of attacking. And Hydro Pump works really, really well in area effect because it shoots a lot of waves out at many enemies, and it does really massive amount of damage. I like to use Hydro Pump only 1 Whack Whack stone. Any more than that, I feel like he moves a little bit too far away from the enemies on auto. What effectively Hydro Pump does is it enables your Pokemon to jump backwards away from the Pokemon that it's hitting, and then it shoots out waves of water. So with too many Whack Whack stones, he's jumping further away every single time. So I found that 1 Whack Whack stone was enough. And I didn't really want to add extra wait time to that because I feel like with Hydro Pump, it goes so quickly that I wanted to utilize that as well. So what I've actually done is I've added Broad Burst Stone, and it adds width to the attack. So now those waves are a lot wider, and I've done that twice. So now I've got +2 on the attack width there. So you can sort of see where stacking these effects are really, really good. Now I'm going to show you Machamp, and I'm going to show you Bulk Up. So Bulk Up here is completely different to the attacking type moves, and so obviously you want to think about how you're going to utilize the stones for that. This Sharing Stone is an absolute wonder, and it is just powered me through the entire game, and it's all because of Bulk Up, but there are other defensive and offensive buff moves that Sharing Stones will really work with. So what it does is it not only changes the effect to not just affect one Pokemon, but it affects the entire team, but it also adds the effect of 25% bonus. So when you're stacking this, you're getting 3 lots of that, and it's not just to Machamp here, it's going to the entire team. This combination is the best move combination in the entire game with stones. If you can get 3 Sharing Stones and Bulk Up on almost any Pokemon, then it will power you through to the end of the game pretty easily. Mewtwo is the best option for that, but I won't go through what Pokemon to get for these moves, but the Sharing Stone is a really, really great option. Now, some other options in terms of your move stones are Weightless Stone, and Weightless Stone is quite good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like 5% move wait time isn't enough to really utilize that one spot for the moves that I'm using at the moment. And with Scattershot Stone, I don't recommend it with a lot of Pokemon. As a matter of fact, I pretty much never use it except for this Alakazam, who I'm going to replace. But I wouldn't recommend it with Hydro Pump. I don't even think it actually works with Hydro Pump. But I would say that Scattershot Stone is sort of a last resort stone, but your Whack Whacks and your Broad Burst Stones are your 2 best attacking stones, and your Sharing Stones are fantastic for buffs, and they stack. I'm just going to show you guys how this run's going to work. I'll start off with the Hydro Pump. I'll make sure Bulk Up stays up. Now Bulk Up's got to be up at all times, and you need to make sure that it's up. On auto, sometimes the AI forgets to do it for a little bit. And you can see how wide those waves are and how much they have a pushback effect. I'll use Psychic now, and you can see the splitting effect of the Psychic. Now, take notice of the green numbers above the head as they hit. And this is a hit healing effect that's on some of the stones that are used on the actual Pokemon. I find this Split Stone really effective when you've got hit healing, especially when you've got a Glass Cannon type Pokemon. Okay, now let's switch it up. Now what I'm going to do now is, with Alakazam, I am going to add an extra Split Stone so you can get an idea of how different it is. As a matter of fact, let's go weird. Let's go weird. This is just to show you how different the moves can be, but how great they are not. I don't even think I'll get through the run like this, but... so I'm going to add 3 Scattershot Stones, which effectively will give me 3 extra projectiles for Psychic. It'll also lower the attack by a total of 45%. So again, with those Share Stones, you really want Bulk Up to be up at all times. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is throw Bulk Up out there. And throw Psychic first thing. It's 4 projectiles, and it just seems like a waste. Half of them don't even come close to hitting. And he doesn't hit again either. Throw some Hydro Pump out there. Hydro Pump, as you can see, this is why it's the best move in the game. It's just doing silly damage, and it hits a lot. It's quite wide, all of that sort of stuff. And again, I'll show you the Psychic. I mean, it's hitting okay, but it's a waste. Not doing enough damage in the middle projectiles that are actually hitting, and not hitting enough times. I feel like the Whack Whack Stone really enables him to get a few shots out and actually hit with those shots. So there you have it, guys. I just want to show you this one last stone that I forgot to mention, but the reason why I didn't really mention it is because it's a really lackluster stone, and it's one that I don't really recommend for pretty much any move type. This is the Stay Strong Stone, and it does connect with moves that have a possibility of giving you a positive status effect, like maybe extra defense or extra attack. But if you're going to go with a buff type move, you really want to just use the Share Stones anyway. So we're going to wrap this video up now, and this concludes all of the move stones that I really wanted to talk about. Choose a combination, something like Whack Whack and Weightless, or Whack Whack and Scattershot, whatever it is that you sort of feel like is your preference. So those all tend to work pretty well. I'd say just have a play with it and see what you have a preference for. Until next time, take care.